hello. So I feel like we know each other well enough now that I can get a bit existential with you, and I'm kind of interested on your take on this topic. Okay, so my question is there such a thing as a good personality? Well, let me tell you what I think about it. So what initially got me thinking about this, of all things, would you believe it, was a TikTok I saw. It was by Neve Adkins, and she basically was talking about what is considered a good or a bad personality. And it really got me thinking. I'd never thought about it before, but there was actually a lot of truth to what she was saying. Do people thinking positively about someone else depend on how that person benefits them in their life? Either through that person being a convenience to them or being people-pleasy to them, the fact that this person does nice things for them, or just gives off good energy, such as is nice or friendly, and that's kind of the thing that they're giving over. In certain situations, the judgment of someone's worth and personality quality is solely reliant on what that person can offer up to others. Therefore, the more self-sacrificial or outgoing you are, the more people like you. You are praised for being outgoing or very nice. People tend to note an improvement if you participate more or do more for them. But what if you're not naturally like that? This doesn't mean you're a terrible person or that you have a bad personality. Some people are more comfortable being introverted or reserved, or aren't that into going out and socializing all the time, and that shouldn't be viewed as a negative trait. People tend to use the word antisocial as a criticism or something that someone should fix about themselves. This should not be the case. The same goes for being overly nice. Some people look out for themselves more and are naturally more individualistic. They don't feel the need to cater to others to be well liked. And often when people feel like they aren't getting anything from this person in question, they're less likely to view them positively and may have a negative perception of them, or even feel intimidated by them. Like, who are you to not need society's approval? Oh my god. I've seen something like this play out often when men see a woman who is confident and who doesn't really play into that whole really nice and friendly girl archetype. These men are then less likely to view this woman positively, and sometimes even go so far as to verbally tear her down, either to her face or behind her back. It's like some people can't handle others not trying to curry their favor or please them in some way. In childhood, adults often try to change these natural traits in children. They'll encourage all the kids to be social and to interact, and sure, yeah, to an extent that's probably important and necessary, but you shouldn't enforce all kids to be social and shame them when they aren't extroverted. I used to read in the library a lot during break times when I was younger, and at the end of most school days I tended to do my own thing. At boarding school, I would play on my computer in my room, and the boarding mistress always remarked on this in termly reports and would call me things like antisocial. Whenever I did join social events, she would make a big deal of it and draw a lot of attention to me and be like, oh my god, wow, it's so good to see you out. It's so great to see you being social with people and interacting. Or maybe even try and make a joke and be like, oh wow, Tamrin, where's your computer? It's not here. Wow, like, you know, try make some kind of joke. Yes, I'm sure she meant well, but by only praising those times and critiquing me when I just hung out by myself, she was kind of suggesting that how I wasn't okay. I can be a very independent, insular person at times. I enjoy my own company. I don't really always feel up to going out and socializing with people. I find it quite draining sometimes, but I was kind of led to feel embarrassed about how I was, and I started to really hate when people would refer to this side of me. Other people in my grade who were highly favored were those who were naturally outgoing and friendly and sociable, to a level that I just couldn't match in 1,000 years, even if I tried. And I felt like that was kind of unfair, because it was basically saying that to be well regarded, you had to be extroverted. No ifs or buts about it. And I'm sure other people can relate to this, like when teachers say things to you like, oh, it's so lovely to see you've come out your shell, or something, when you participate a little bit more in group discussions in class. That just once again reinforces the mentality that being naturally quiet or reserved just isn't okay. There were a few other girls who were similar and were a bit quieter or more introverted, and they received very similar treatment. It's almost like the adults felt pity for us. I understand they had good intentions, I do, but their bias kind of blinded them from seeing what actually made us happy or what we preferred. Like, I was quite content just sitting here reading my book like the nerd I am, thank you very much. Also, being quiet isn't the same as being shy. You can be a very confident person and still be a bit quieter or more of the silent type, but what does tend to happen is when people are quieter, they're made to feel self-conscious about it, and that can lead to them becoming shy. That happened to me a bit at a certain point, and I remember my mom trying to fix this. The way she would do this was like by forcing me to walk up to our waitress in restaurants and ask for the bill, which I absolutely hated. I'm sure lots of people have similar experiences with parents misguidedly trying to fix or cure their children. You know, purge the shyness from their bodies as one does, because that's the only thing that'll happen. It won't turn into anything traumatic or retroactive at all. You always hear about, or maybe even see or interact with extroverts who feel bad and try helping out more introverted people. Have you ever thought about allowing introverts to teach you something, like how to be quieter and to listen, or how to enjoy your own company? It shouldn't be a one-way street, I'm just saying. I don't think it's healthy for someone to fully isolate themselves, of course, because that could just lead to a host of other problems, including worsened mental health. But I do think that respecting people's personal boundaries and preferences is important. Not everyone is going to behave in the same way, and that's something to be embraced and accepted and not fixed. Another thing about this whole good personality thing is that it doesn't really factor in people with autism or who have certain mental disorders. Social etiquette and cues and interaction in general can be a bit more difficult for them to understand and perceive or enact. That once again doesn't mean they're terrible people with bad personalities. There's just an unnecessary emphasis placed on interacting well with others. I think if you tried hard enough, you could understand how they communicate rather than having some pre-established idea of socialization in your mind. And thus, due to all of this, I do not believe that there is such a thing as a good personality. It's a myth created by God knows who, and attempts to enforce this overly friendly, super sociable way of life upon people who may not naturally be that way. This is not me expressing hate or anything like that towards people who are extroverted. I have no qualms with you, and I think how you are is amazing. I'm insanely impressed by how energized you get from social interactions, but what I'm trying to get across is how this being regarded as the default isn't okay or inclusive of the diverse range of people who live in this world. So I would just suggest before you go around judging people and their personalities, maybe just keep all of this in mind, perhaps. I don't know. Let me know if you agreed or very firmly disagreed with every word I said in this video. This is really just my own opinion, but yeah, have a good one. Oh wait, yeah, and do subscribe. Thank you if you have not done that yet. I would much appreciate it. Okay, anyway, bye!